Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. This is the Shitzu Hakuchou, or is it Hakuchou? I don't know. Drag in the HSW upgrade, which the bike I should say, doesn't get an HSW badge anywhere that I can see. This is going to be a blink and you'll miss it moment. There are a lot of people with me on bikes today. In fact, I think they're all three on variations of a Hakuchou. Hakuchou. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We all know what we're talking about. However, this bike, I've been using it for all my HSW time trials and just hitting them all, except for when I fall off the bike. Hitting them all with plenty of time to spare. Not the highest top speed, but man, the acceleration and the braking on this thing are just outstanding. This might be my personal favorite HSW vehicle so far. I know we're only, several weeks into it, and I haven't really spent a lot of time in all of them because I've been, just grinding for cash because I needed them to pay for more HSW vehicles so that I can make these videos, plus whatever DLC comes out next. I need money to buy cars. Thankfully, have been able to earn a little bit of money. Cost some time there, probably a good 5 or 6 seconds that we lost right there. And we're going to do something we've never done before on Mullet Off-Road, and you'll see what that is in a minute. However, it's not what's happening in the top right with Raven having issues, because that's... isn't that just a given? Raven always has issues. And, to be fair, this bike is a handful on this mountain. It is so easy to catch one little bump wrong, and with the acceleration that you have with this bike, just go flying miles off the mountain. Super, super simple. However, when you get it right, it does some pretty impressive things. If you're watching that timer down there, you realize you're watching something pretty amazing, because we are up to the top of Mount Chiliad in 2:03. So will it off-road? A ding, yes. However, this is where we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to go back to the bottom of the mountain. This was something that I recorded to practice. I'm speeding up the footage so you don't have to watch an entire run again. The 2:03 was impressive, but I had done better. And this is the one and only practice run. When I know a vehicle is going to be a little bit of a challenge, and it's not something I've driven before, not something I'm quite used to, I will do a practice run or two. Usually vehicles, I can tell how they're going to perform on the mountain. But during the practice round, I decided to record, which I normally don't do, and managed to pull a 1:58:40. So that's the time I'm going with as official. I know it's a bit controversial because it wasn't during the normal recording time, but because I did get it on footage, or get footage of it, I'm counting it. Because the last time I got a vehicle up faster than what its record is, I was disappointed. And that was with the Jaguar, which I had gotten up in like a 2:02 the very first time I practiced with it. But I didn't have footage of it. And I based the 2:02 because there was a free mode event going at the time. And so I knew what time I had started and what time I ended based on the free mode event counter. So yeah, 1:58:40. That, of course, out of 475 vehicles, makes this the new #1. Technically second because we tested a buzzard as a joke, and the buzzard, nope, nothing will ever get up there faster than the buzzard. So this is 47.75 seconds slower, oh hey donkey, than the Nagasaki buzzard, but we're not counting that. It is 13.67 seconds faster than the classic Jaguar. Wow. Of course, that makes it first in motorcycles. It is 15.7 seconds faster then the Western Reaver, and it is first in the enhanced PC version of the 4 HSW vehicles we've tested, coming in 31 and 8/10 of a second faster than the weaponized Pegassi Ignis in HSW specs. So man, this thing, just unreal. Even coming back down the mountain has been fast. I mean, we're down already. You know, we're here in a 153, 154, 153, something like that. I don't know. The timer did a weird. I'm gonna have to see what it really was. But yeah, got some jumps from both Hobo and from Raven. And then since we were bikes and we can all fit on the ramp, I had everybody join me up on the ramp. They weren't gonna mess with the camera, so I was gonna be able to tell when the launch happened. And speaking of launches, yeah, I got launched right off the bike, and that's gonna happen a few more times. Raven got taken out, Donkey got taken out. I think Sven died as well, or he's about to. I can't remember. It's just what happens when you're on bikes. By the way, today was supposed to be a garage tour video featuring Annis vehicles. Oh, there's my bike, but unfortunately, ow. Yeah. But today was supposed to be the Annis garage tour from my $1 Billion Garage Tour series. I'm just running behind on that video, so we're doing Mode Offroad this week. I'm sure you won't mind. What's really weird is the day after I'm recording this voiceover and uploading this video, we're going to be recording the Benefactor garage tour, which is coming after the Annis. So, yeah, I'm going to have 2 of them to work on. Yay. That's not any type of pressure for a deadline or anything. Hobo's just a little bit in the way, so I'm just going to climb over his truck. And then a couple of weird physics things happen here. One is the way you pick up the bike. It just kind of springs up. 2, I just barely booped into Sven. This thing has so much power and acceleration, this thing flying. And 3, I don't even know what happened here. I hit that just right, and it just sent me sailing. If I had managed to turn over midair, it would have like spawned me with a parachute that I could have pulled. That was like, go back and watch that again. Like, all I did was hit the front wheel right into like kind of a crease where the slope of the mountain's going down, but the side of the valley was coming up, and there was a little crease right there, and my wheel went perfectly in it. And I was just showing you that with my hands, even though you can't see them. Yeah, that's the thing that I just did. Anyways, so I have a little bit of a trek to get back to my bike. We may have faded out Raven's footage at this point. I'm not 100% certain if I remember to do that or not in the final version. But that's because he's riding the Hobo, and it would literally just be the same view twice. So no point in making the render time of the video take longer now that he's riding the Hobo. I can't remember. I think I managed to survive the rest of the way, but there is another incident that happens before we get to the bottom. All the way to the bottom, I should say, because we're technically at the bottom. Yeah, there it is. Managed to hit a tree. I'm surprised it didn't land on the railroad tracks, get run over by a train. Just the way damage descents on bikes goes. Hey, look, he actually picked up the bike properly this time, instead of all the nonsense that has been happening, with it just kind of springing up into the air and then getting on. Very strange. But yeah, definitely taking our own sweet time getting down for the damage descent because of all the death. Managed to mostly get over the wood pile, but then got his Sand King to the face. But we're down in 3 minutes, 10 seconds, so let's take a little damage, which is the headlight is missing, or it's busted out. There are some paint scratches, and I died 3 times. So, yeah, and Hobo didn't actually kill Sven, his truck did. Anyways, there's our sport vehicles from the front, and then because it's the Vainglorious from the rear, and explosives. But that brings us to our next vehicle, the Bravado Buffalo EVX, also in HSW spec. You can see Hal's badge in the left of the bumper there on the rear. And I wasn't really sure what to expect with this one. This is an all-wheel drive muscle car. I did my best to not wheelie and managed to wheelie anyway on the launch. I really tried to like let go of the throttle before I let go of the handbrake, and still managed to not get it I almost took out the deer. Somebody, I guess it desync, thought I did kill it. Hobo ran over the deer's carcass, and as you saw in the top left-hand corner, got sent by the deer. It's a nice quiet run, though. No engine noise. Nobody's near me right now, so I don't even hear anybody else's engine. It's kind of weird. Hobo decided, I guess, to go get a fresh car. So he's going to steal a Jeep and get his car back, I guess. I assume he didn't want to go up in a damaged car. I don't know. You can watch that play out up there at the top left-hand corner. I can't really remember what happened. And then Raven is in his HSW Banshee. That's not the GTS, right? That's just a regular Banshee. Yeah, it's just a regular Banshee. And then I'm in this thing, and I will be honest with you, even though this turns in a decent time, this was unpleasant. This was just a constant struggle of not having massive amounts of understeer, and you'll see several times that I just miss my normal turns. Or having it do like a four-wheel spin out and wanting to like rotate around completely. Not like true oversteer where just the back end is the one letting go, but like the front and the back letting go at the same time, and literally the car is wanting to just spin in place like a Mercedes G-Wagon tank mode. The electric one. That's this one that does that, right? Tank mode? Like all the GMs crab walk, but I'm pretty sure it's the Mercedes that does tank mode, where it just can spin in place. Technically, any electric car can do that, because if it had motors in all four wheels. Anyway, that's what this is wanting to do, so I'm assuming it's simulating the motor in all four wheels, because it happens a lot. That's what was happening right there. That was not oversteer. That was the car trying its best to spin around on me. But it is climbing, and it looks far more composed than it was. It looks, just watching the video, I remember that this was a handful, but watching the video, I'm like, well, this doesn't look so bad. Trust me, it was pretty terrible. But we're up to the top of Mount Chiliad, 234. So, will it off-road? Yeah, did fine. You know, it's competent. It's all-wheel drive, so that helps it a lot, though it does kind of hinder it in a few places as well. But, you know, 234, good time, especially for a muscle car. Out of the 475 vehicles, this is now 50th. It's just outside of the top 10%. I think it's closer to, like, the top 11%. It is 0.23 seconds slower than the Bravado Buffalo STX. And it is 0.28 seconds faster than the Enos Jubilee, the SUV. In muscle cars, it is, wow, that was really impressive, Sin, right up into the point that it wasn't. But yeah, out of 60 muscle cars that we've tested, this is second. Same split to the Buffalo STX that we mentioned a moment ago. And it is 1.03 seconds faster than the Vapid Dominator GT. And then this came out with San Andreas Mercenaries, both, yep, the brakes aren't the best in this, by the way. So this came out in San Andreas Mercenaries, both the regular version and the HSW version. Out of the 13 vehicles from that update that we've tested, it is sixth, so in the middle. 8.8 seconds slower than the Vapid Ratel, I don't know. Just don't say Rotel, that's cheese dip. And it is 45/100ths of a second faster than the Manbatsu Monstrosity HSW. So yeah. And then compared to the non-HSW version of the same car, this is 4.73 seconds faster than the stock one. So yeah, the first couple weeks of HSW vehicles, it was very much a... hello, Leelus. You know, it was very much a disappointment because they all did markedly worse than their stock counterparts. But then for the past 2 weeks, we've been doing noticeably better. And so I guess it just really comes down to the car. You know, if it was already a car that's struggling a little bit with grip and traction, HSW is amplifying that. and making it worse, which you would think the monstrosity would be great, and it does, but it does struggle also with grip and traction in the dirt. When you're on power, it's just the stock version doesn't have so much power that it overpowers itself. And wow, that was the thing that just happened there. Went up on two wheels, lost control, and wound up in a ditch. Neat. So yeah, just a weird mixture of results with HSW, and none of it conclusive, because now half of them have been better, half of them have been worse. So HSW off-roading, sure, why not go for it? Waste your millions of dollars. Yeah, this has been a pretty long controlled descent because of having that mishap due to the poor braking on this thing. Somebody told me that HSW brakes, that you shouldn't use them, but I don't buy it. They seem to work fine to me. However, what you shouldn't do is full throttle an HSW Banshee when you're going over a jump, because you might nearly land in the ocean. Yeah, that was a close one. Anyways, we are back to the top for our final fling off the side. Meant to do the wheelie that time just because it looks ridiculous trying to do the launch off the side. It always does, because you just don't go anywhere. It just kind of falls off. It's cute. But yeah, see how much damage this thing takes. Thankfully, I'm not sitting on it. I'm sitting in it. So, you know, no page, go away. So, you know, short of an explosion, I shouldn't die. So that's always reassuring. But there's not going to be death while we're conducting our very, very, very scientific experiments of how much damage and a car takes and how much fun you have seeing how much damage it takes. Because it is fun, but we do it for science. The fun is just a side effect that we have discovered through our rigorous scientific testing. Yeah, that's the way it works. We've got like one taillight left. Let's see if we can get rid of that. I'm sure we can get rid of that before we get to the bottom. Yeah. Looks like it might still be holding on, but we still have a little ways to go yet. And I still have many, many other things to hit, so we should be able to get rid of it. Raymond appears to be stuck in a tree. Hobo's doing fine though. He's right there behind me. Oh, Raymond's fine. I don't know what I hit, but I heard something go crunch, but I didn't see an animal. Oh yeah, we lost that taillight at some point. Tried to get over the wood pile, didn't get the angle or the speed right, and instead just slammed into the side of the wood pile. Absolutely no jump. By the way, there's a boat because it was a Shitzu, and Sven wanted it to match the Hakuchou track at the beginning of the video. So yeah, anyways, we're down, I think it said 139. Most of the windows are gone, all the lights are missing. The hood is missing, the front bumper is damaged, the right door is gone, and there's ever so slight body damage. And then we'll take a look at our sport vehicles, one of which is about to catch on fire from the front and then again from the rear. And I want to thank you for watching today. There are thousands of things you can watch on YouTube, and you chose to spend your time with me today, and that means a lot to me. I sincerely appreciate it. And we'll be back hopefully next week with garage tour stuff. But we have one more HSW Wheel and Off-Road coming, so stay tuned for that as well. And until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.